Professor Sultan Ayoub, Mayo. He is a professor and a consultant in the Department of Physiology in King Saud University. He is the winner of King Saud University Outstanding Publication record in 2017. Please, Prof. Sultan. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I'm very much thankful to Director CMRC College of Medicine Research Center, King Saud University for his kind invitation. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to everyone. The title of my talk is How to Write Scientific Paper in high-profile biomedical journals. First, we have to understand why we publish. Certainly, the scientific papers, they are the golden eggs of our academic or the professional career. Through scientific papers, we can disseminate the knowledge, information, and certainly the science. We can encourage discussion among the science community and also the journal community. We can develop the scholarly base and personal satisfaction. Your research is not complete until it has been published. I would like to show you this model. We published last week this model in Saudi Journal of Biological Sciences, one of the reputable journal with high impact, about 2.78, and this is going to be the first quartile journal, and we established the model, please. First of all, we published the research because of some specific requirements. And what are these requirements? Worldwide, the best universities now, they are encouraging the postgraduate students, means they are in a master program, MPhil program, MD, MS program, or the doctorate program. This is the basic requirement that they should publish at least one article during their master program and the 2 articles during their PhD program before to defend their thesis. This is the basic requirement, means the study requirement. Therefore, our juniors, our colleagues, they publish a scientific paper. At most needs, once we have an academia, then certainly for getting better position, for hiring, for promotions, for grants, for salary, and from resident, registrar, consultant, assistant professor, associate, and certainly for the professors, we should have to publish. Means at most needs. After this, long-term sustainability. Once we are getting position in any best institutes, certainly we have to publish. And once we will publish, then it will provide you a platform to stay in that institute for a long time. Once we are reaching at this level, means achieving all the academia, getting the position, sustainability in the academic career, and the top rank positions. And how we achieve the top rank positions among the colleagues and reaching, for example, the rector, the chancellor, the dean, and other positions, certainly we should have a good scientific and the research background. So the top rank positions here. And after this, once we are achieving these positions, then this is the advancement in the policies. How the institutes, they will invite us and we will be the part of policies, means the policy makers, once we have a excellent track of research publication in that specific area. The policies either in the education sector or in the economy sector, or in healthcare sector. So they will invite you once you have an excellent track in that specific area. And once we achieve these positions, and then another thing is the top rank positions. And these top rank positions, as I mentioned, that either it is a dean, rector, chancellor, or means other than these positions in the consultant in some international organizations, once we have a good track of a record. And once we are achieving all these positions, then here, the name and fame again in the science community. So this pyramid, I'm sorry, there is a spelling error and my photographer was not around. I apologize for this one. And these are the basic, aims and objective of any researcher, any young scientist. We should publish because of these, the components. Certainly, no publications means the no research project. No publication, no promotions, no excellent positions, no top rank positions. And I must say that if no publications means this is the academic death of the scientist as well as the institute also. These are the different types of the publications, and the most respectable publications, original articles. Then we have a review articles, meta-analysis, systematic review, editorials, brief communication, letter to editor. These are the different types of the publication. Today, I would like to focus mainly on the original article. And this is the roadmap of the scientific publications, and these are the basic components of how to write a scientific paper, especially means the introduction, research methodology, then we have a, results, discussion, acknowledgement, and certainly the references. So this roadmap. We have to follow this roadmap, please. How we would like to write our paper, the methods, the results, discussion, acknowledgement, and the references. I would like to highlight these components of my talk. My dear colleagues, this slide, we have to look into the depth of this slide, that what are the basic parameters and the basic difficulties the new or the researchers, the scientists, they are facing during the publication process. We have to see this thing, what are the problems in the manuscript? What are the problems in the manuscript? And selection of inappropriate journal is the leading major problem. And then here, the impact factor. We have to look these things. First, the well-written manuscript, well-reviewed manuscript, according to the instruction of that journal. And then we have to see the selection of an appropriate journal. And then also the impact factor means the standing of that journal or the respect of that journal. Currently, we have about 15,000 ISI index journals. In quartile 1 to quartile 4, worldwide, we have about 15,000 ISI journals. I'm only discussing the Institute of Scientific Information index journal only, please here. How we select these journals? Once you have a manuscript, you wrote the manuscript, or you have ideas, then this is another area where sometimes the scientists they stuck. But today, I would like to focus every component of a scientific writing. Here, before means the submission, you have to look into. We have to understand the readers. What will be our readers? Who will read our article? Means our audience, the targeted audience. And the prestige of the journal, how journal is respectable, its impact factor, its global citation. Then we have to look into the novelty of the research work. Before submission to any journal, we published this study 10 years back in 2007, and personally, we got these figures for that article, and we have to look this thing and understand our readers, prestige of the journal, and novelty of the research work. Submitting manuscript in inappropriate journal is the major mistake of the scientists or the researchers. They will straightforward reject. And if we will submit our manuscript choosing appropriate journal, it will match the study and the objectives, aims, and scopes of that journal. It will more likely that our manuscript will be at least accepted from first 2 steps of the acceptance, means at the level of editorial review, and then they will send this article to the peer review. We have to understand now which comes first, either the scientific selection of the journal or writing of the manuscript. But at least once you have a draft of your manuscript, a rough draft, you have a method, you have an introduction, at least you have some concept, select the journal at that stage. Once we understand anatomy of the journal, means structure of the journal, at that stage we must select an appropriate journal where you would like to submit your manuscript. We have to look into the structure, means the anatomy, and functions, means the physiology of the journal and the scientific work. We should ask some questions. Where authors are often go wrong, we must ask these questions. Number 2, did you read the instruction for authors? Very essential. Sometimes we are not going through the instruction for the authors. At least twice we should follow the instruction for authors thoroughly, and then we start to write the manuscript. Did you know the aims and scopes of the journal? At certain period, certain level, the editor, he or she wants some specific theme of the research articles. So read the instruction carefully, please. Then we have to know that subject's category of the journal, means the category and the subcategory. Currently, the medical sciences, we have about 60 subspecialties. The time gone 15, 20 years back, there was some specific subspecialties, medicine, surgery, pediatrics, eye, ENT, gynae ops, okay, but now every subspecialty, and even the China, I wrote one editorial, diplomatic mission of the China, and one of the ship going to the coastal belt of the world, they have a 40 subspecialty on one ship. Since last 10 years, this ship is rotating worldwide on the different coastal belt of the world. 40 subspecialties, even the MRI unit inside the ship also. We have to look into what type of a papers editor looking for. We should know that the indexing of the journals, where the journal is indexed, and the most respectable indexing bodies is the Institute of Scientific Information, means the ISI Web of Science, and second is the PubMed. Who reads the journals? Subspecialty. Then how prestigious is the journal, means the impact factor of that journal. How long publish, means its frequency, it is quarterly, it is monthly, or the weekly. We have to look. Sometimes researchers, they have a need for the promotion, for the increments, for their, as I mentioned you, for their postgraduate studies. Then you have to see all these things. And what are the costs? Currently, the scientific journals, they are charging the huge cost. I wrote one article, A Big Sale on a Science. Last year, alhamdulillah, one of my articles published in a Science also, and then I wrote many editorials on this issue, where world is moving currently, huge cost, especially the scientists, they are in a third world countries, difficult to pay in the dollars also. And where do we find these all information? Certainly, we will get this information at the journal website. My dear colleagues, we have to follow the aims and objective of that specific journal. We have to read the instruction for the authors and follow the instruction for authors. So this trika means must we see the aims and scopes, instruction for authors, and we should follow the instruction for authors. Sometime for example, one manuscript rejected from one journal, and immediately we are submitting in another journal. So many things inside the manuscript, text, references, their citations, bibliography, and the pattern of abstract and the methodology, all these things, then it shows that we just got from one, from journal, rejected from one journal and submitting in another journal. So again, we have to look into the instruction for the authors. Indexing, I would like to show you here the ISI index journals and the non-ISI index journals. So we must follow the ISI Web of Science index journals. And here the Thomson Reuters, and this is the PubMed, National Library of Medicine, United States. So at least once your work is a good, work containing a good message, so try to submit your article at this level. The world will, you will send, means you disseminate your information at the level of global level among the science community. About the title. For example, the title of a paper is Effects of Smoking. First, you have to look into the title of the manuscript and where you are going to submit, selection of the journal. This is the title of the manuscript, Effects of Smoking on Academic Grades. I would like to ask you one thing. Do you think this journal is appropriate for this title of the manuscript? The title of the journal is Smoking Cessation, Quit Smoking Journal. Do you think this manuscript is appropriate for this journal? Yes or no? Okay, I'm going to tell you now. My dear colleagues, the most appropriate journal for this type of a manuscript or the manuscript with this title is here, Medical Education or Academic Medicine. Because we are talking academic grades among the smokers. We are not giving message for quit smoking or smoking cessation, but we are discussing the academic grades. Second title here, the title of the journal is International Journal of Occupational Medicine and Environmental Health, and the title of the paper is Effects of X-ray Radiation on phagocytic function of polymorphonuclear neutrophils. Do you think this title is appropriate for this one? Just twist the title. The same journal, how we will twist the title and inside the contents like this one, please. These are my own examples of my life, and these are the evidences. So twist this one like occupational hazards of X-ray radiation on phagocytic function of polymorphonuclear neutrophils. Compared to this one here. Now we are not giving any message. More suitable this title for maybe for the immunity journal, maybe the journals related with the WBC, rather than occupational hazard journals. Now it is occupational hazards of X-ray radiation. Just you twist the title. This is scientific writing is a science as well as art. How we give a beauty inside the contents of the manuscript. Here, This is another example. We discovered one student with a congenital absence of gallbladder. Congenital absence of gallbladder in young Saudi medical students. I had submitted this case report in New England Journal of Medicine. It was rejected. Submitted in British Medical Journal. It was rejected. And when I asked them, okay, what are the reasons? This is a novel study, the first case reported from the Saudi Arabia with congenital absence of a gallbladder. Editor wrote the email, we are not focusing at the regional level, we are focusing at the international level. For example, NAJM, New England Journal of Medicine, is the leading journal in the medicine and covering all over the world. And he wrote that the worldwide 313 cases already reported on the congenital absence of gallbladder. How you are saying, Professor Mayo, this is the novel study? When we submitted this article here, it was immediately published. So message is this one, either your audience at the universal level or they are at the regional level. We have to see this scenario also, please. Now, prestige of the journal. We must understand the prestigious journals. What is the impact factor? Impact factor is a very essential tool that provides evaluation, ranking, categorizing, and comparing among the journals. And certainly, every author wants to publish in the best possible high impact factor journal. And this is always the dream of the scientist. Our aim should be not too high and not too low, because rejection rate of top class journals like Nature and the Science about 78% at the level of editorial, not the peer review. Only the acceptance rate is about 7%. Here, the best journals are those in which it is most difficult to have published manuscript. And these are the journals, they have certainly high impact factor at the global level. I would like to show you, because every 1.5 year report is coming. For example, some journals here, see this one, New England Journal of Medicine, 55, but the current report, its impact factor is 75. And see, they all are in a high double figure, and these are in journals from the United States. They have about 3,000 journals, scientific journals, and all having a high impact factor. Our own journals from our country, see one here, Annals of Saudi Medicine, we have a 0.48, currently 0.59, and some Saudi journal, Saudi Medical Journal. So all journals, they have impact factor also, this one, please. This is from Pakistan. We have a few journals also, but impact factor, again, the same, similar, not like the other word. We have to see how you will, compare the impact factor. There are a certain factor, the cost of publication, the topic, title of your manuscript, access of the manuscript for the global science community, and its reputation and rejection rate. Must be like this one. This is the scientific manuscript, and this is the impact factor. We have to compare, make the balance, not like this one, here at the manuscript, and this is the impact factor, or this one. No, it should be at the parallel level. Not like this one, please. And certainly, the scientists, they are looking for high impact factor journal. They have their dream to publish in the journals, they are with a high impact factor journals. We have to look and compare the apple and oranges with respect to the indexing of the journal, impact factor of the journal. This article published in Journal of Cell Biology in 2007, and all the scientists, they are looking towards the moon, not towards the stars. Means every scientist wish to submit or publish in high impact factor journal. We published this article, the impact factor went on a ventilator, neither died nor buried. And why we published this article? About 6 years back, the DORA declaration was established, and the globally 400 leading science journals editors, they signed the declaration. They said that impact factor doesn't have any role, but only the Nature and the Science and New England Journal, 3 journals, they have a veto power. So Nature editor-in-chief, he did not sign the, that declaration. It was held in San Francisco. Therefore, then I wrote this article here. The impact factor went on a ventilator, neither died nor buried. And the physician is asking, we published this article in Journal of Anesthesia. Physician is asking with nurse, okay, what happened with the impact factor? Nurse is replying, sir, after DORA declaration, impact factor went on a ventilation. Why we wrote this one, word is now moving toward the Harris index rather than focusing on the impact factor. Harris indexing is a more powerful tool, more better tool, comparing among the scientific works. Therefore, word is moving towards the Harris index rather than the impact factor. But we cannot deny this from the significance of the impact factor. Therefore, I wrote this editorial here. The science community believes that even with the limitations and the weaknesses in the impact factor, it is still a simple and powerful tool in the global evaluation of the scientific quality of the journal. And we published this article in Saudi Journal of Anesthesia. We should analyze first the information we have to present, a specific group of readers, background information, and logical sequence of the journal. We should ask certain questions. The constant stage, how the scientific writing will continue, we should ask that. Thinking and planning about this means we must consider these things, thinking about the readers, choosing the words, forming the sentences, and building the paragraphs, means the scientific writing based on these things. Once you have a pen and paper, you started your scientific writing, we have to think, write, stop, and review. Try to get feedback after completing, for example, introduction, methodology, then discuss with your other co-authors. Discuss with your seniors, your mentors. We always have a mentors, guide, our teachers, and don't be shy. This is not necessary that we can learn science from the seniors. No, we can learn science from the juniors also, from the colleagues, from the peers. We are always in learning stage, please. And once think again, why we stop writing? We must learn what you have written. Why we review what you have done, and think again means what is to come. The title. The title is the first part of the manuscript. Once we are going to enter into the PubMed or the Google Scholar or whatever the search engines for any article, the first thing you will follow or you will see, that is a title of the manuscript. A good title is like an honest advertisement. The readers, they will read the title, they will enter into the abstract, they will read the abstract, and they will try to download the entire manuscript. If your title is attractive, abstract is well written, then he or she should get your paper, and they will read it, and they will try to cite it. A poor title, the weak title, is like a quarantine sign. The readers will approach only and just they will see the title and then they will run away. Here, a good title must have a good text that will fascinate the readers, means attract the readers. And good titles should contain the same tone of the abstract. And it should be easy to catalog without any abbreviations. Easy to catalog means once in library sciences or indexing bodies, they will get the title, they will be not confused. It should be simple, easy to understand, attractive, and as short as possible. Abstract, now we have to look into the abstract. Must ask the question, why did you start? Means your objective. What did you do? Means the methodology. What did you find? Means your results. What does it means? Means the conclusion. So your abstract, either it is some journals they like structured abstract, some journals they follow the unstructured abstract. So structured abstract must contain objective, methods, results, and the conclusion. What the abstract describe? Abstract is a condensed version of the scientific manuscript, summary of the scientific paper, written at the end of the manuscript. This is a very standard protocol. Otherwise, the abstract, most of the scientists, junior scientists, they try to write abstract at the start of the manuscript. No. We have to write the manuscript at the end of, once you completed entire manuscript, because at this stage, we know each and every component of our scientific paper. And you have a mature idea at that level. Then you write at the end, because this is the summary. Sometimes the researchers, they are unable to get your entire paper, then at least they will get the message from your abstract. Provide overview of the facts, and it should be informative, summarize the entire information in the manuscript. The common problems in the abstract, if it is too long, because all the journals, they are always trying to give the message for the writers, it should be 150 to 250 words maximum. If it is too long, then it is difficult. Too much details, no, don't provide too much detail in the abstract, because this is your summary of your work. Too short, sometime in a 50 words, no. Yes, it is case report, acceptable, mini review, acceptable, but original article, it should be at least 200 words, please, okay? Sometime in abstract, we fail to include important or essential information inside the abstract. Then it is the major problem. Introduction. What will be the basic components in the introduction? To engage the reader's attention, especially in the introduction. To identify the central issue of the subject, to create the tone of the manuscript, and discuss the existing state of the knowledge, and also gaps in the knowledge. Because why we conduct the study, we always conduct the study to fill the gaps in the knowledge. Here. So we have to look at all these things, and this is the beauty of the introduction. We must attack the reader's attention. We should look into the central issue of the subject and try to develop the tone of the manuscript and discuss the gaps in the knowledge and state what we have intend to do this one, please. Thank you so much, please. Here, methodology. This is the most important component of the scientific paper. The science community, especially once we are submitting the article in any journal, editorial board, editor-in-chief, managing editor, the reviewers, they will not excuse us if we will make any mistake in the methodology. If the methods are wrong, means there is no way anyone can accept our manuscript. the methods should be very well written, consciously written methods. Here, what information you will include in the methods: study design, its types, the consent, study protocol, especially inclusion, exclusion criteria, and try to reference the methods if the previous established methods you are going to add. Include the IT skills, what type of IT you have included, data collection, its analysis, and the methods. And sometime, not all journals, they like the strength and limitation inside the method, but 95% journals, they like limitation, strength and limitation should be at the end of discussion section. Try to give the chance to the reviewers or the peer review. They will understand, or these are your strength and these are your limitation. If they will raise any objection, at least they will understand that authors, they already know their limitations or their weaknesses in the manuscript. Methods are the important part of the manuscript. Inappropriate methods is the most common cause of absolute rejection of the scientific paper. Men aim to describe, sometimes to defend experimental designs, and to provide sufficient detail of the methods inside the manuscript. If standard methods, we should always use an appropriate references. It will support your methodology. The results. Certainly, the results are the heart of any manuscript. Must be in logical sequence, in order, results. Must provide enough interpretation of the results in result section as well as in discussion section. Avoid lengthy analysis and the duplication. How we will avoid? Sometime the same information we provide in the tabular form and same information we are going to provide in the figure form, illustration form. This is the duplication. If you feel that presentation of your data is nicely presented in tabular form, present in the tabular form. If you feel that the presentation is better presented in figure or illustration form, present in the illustration form. Yes, sometime we give the beauty to the manuscript. Tabular form, add some data from same table in the illustration form to give easy understanding to the readers, to the audience. Discussion. Again, it is essential for, it should be not lengthy, please. Try to understand this thing. Sometime discussion is 4 or 5 pages, no. It should be based on only 6, 8 to 10 paragraphs. Means maximum 1.5, 2 pages are sufficient, with 1.5 line between the, among the lines of the ones we are writing here. The first paragraph, try to write your core message and your core finding, the first paragraph of your discussion. Middle paragraphs, 4 to 6 paragraphs. 4 to 6 paragraphs, try to write the findings of other scientists and your findings. If your findings are in agreement, very well. If our findings are in contradictory, then try to defend your point of view why your findings are in contradictory compared to in response or compared to the other scientists. Try to then mention the weaknesses, limitation of that study if the findings are in contradictory. Balance should be, for example, 4, 5, 6 scientists data in your favor. Try to give the positive things and must describe 2 to 3 scientists' findings. They are in contradictory to your findings, and then you will be able to reach at the better conclusion. If you see here, what gaps in the knowledge remains to be filled. Discuss your results with the findings of other. Never discuss prior work without reference. Yes, in discussion, your all paragraphs should be well referenced because you are comparing your findings with the other scientists, discussing your findings with other scientists' findings. The last paragraph point out where further gaps or the knowledge could be usefully filled, and sometimes we are writing further research is needed. No. Try to give them what type of research, what type of limitations in your study, and how another scientist, they will fill this gap. It is not necessary that one scientist can give anything inside the message. It is not possible. So give the message very clear to the science community. Conclusion should be based on 1 to 2 paragraphs, means the conclusion should be very clear and aligned with the objectives. Sometimes we are giving the broad conclusion without our objectives, why we are conducting this study. Once you are in abstract, the first paragraph of your abstract means your objectives. Introduction, last paragraph of your introduction, again you are saying these are our objectives, to filling the gaps in the literature. Therefore, we always give very clear message, conclusion message. It should be aligned with your objectives. The most frequent reasons for rejection of the manuscript: small sample size or the bias studies, insufficient problem statement, inaccurate data presented, incomplete statistics. This is also a major cause of rejection of the manuscript. Overinterpretation of the results, insufficient data presented, defective tables and the figures, defective, outdated, the past science, very good presentation, but references means we cited the manuscript with the old or updated references. This is another poor limitation of the scientists, that we must understand what does mean by novel references. Means, for example, we are in a 2018, try to put 2017, 16, 15, not like 1996. If histories we are mentioning in review article, for example, historical background, acceptable, but for original studies, try to cite your manuscript with very recent references. Great science, but ugly presentation. This is another drawback. Your manuscript should be covered with in a nice way, in a good presentation. I would like to show you the few slides about the peer review process. Once you complete your manuscript, now you have to, defend another milestone. You have to reach at that level, and that is a journal submission and the peer review. When you complete your manuscript, now you will face the 5 different types of, the actors, like editor, like the peer authors, number 1, editors, peer review, publisher, and then the audience. Once your article is published, then the science community, they can write letter to the editor. They may criticize or they may give us a positive point of our manuscript. So these are the 5 main audience, means author, editor, reviewer, publisher, and then the public science community, means are the audience. Sometime you submitted your manuscript, went through from the editorial board for the peer review. One reviewer saying, I found this manuscript extremely muddled with many deficits. But another reviewer, that manuscript is written in a clear style with novel ideas and would be understood by any reader. This article published in JAMA in 2004 by Jonathan et al., and they give this message. Sometimes luck also and some other how we have present. Very important thing is how we have to reply for the reviewers' comments. Once our manuscript went through from editorial board for peer review, then it was back to you, and editor sent you the peer review comments, then how you have to reply. This is totally a technique. Give them a first paragraph very clear. Thank you very much, dear sir, or dear editor. Thank you very much for reviewing and spending your time. I highly appreciate your time and your honorable reviewer's time and your time to reviewing our manuscript and sending me the comments, one paragraph. And then try to write like this one here. Politely, stepwise reply one by one. First query, reply. Second query, reply, one by one. And highlight the query inside the manuscript also. Stepwise reply, then politely and tactfully. Should be polite when you are writing to the reply. Try to throw the ball in his or her court, means for editors and the reviewers. For example, you are not agree with some ideas, comments of the peer review, but write, I agree, but, and then put your, defend your message with a reference. Get the same message from any science journal, means provide strength into your wording. Like, I agree, but you are right, although. So politely and tactfully reply to the reviewer's comments. Try to strengthen your reply with the current references. Here, this is the 4th International Conference on Respiratory Diseases. It was in Shanghai, China, and Professor Jeffrey Drazen, he is holding the office of New England Journal of Editor since last 13 years. So we were on same, university in China, Fudan University, China. His area is environmental pollution and lung, and my area is also environmental pollution, lung physiology, diabetes and lung physiology, and also medical education. So I discussed many things, and I learned many things when he was editor-in-chief, and I would like to request also our respectable chairman of College of Medicine Research Center is here, because sometime we can invite him and we will get his, the feedback about, and why not interaction in King Saud University also. So still he's holding the office of, New England Journal of Medicine, and this is the dream of any scientist to publish something in a New England Journal of Medicine with an impact factor is 75. Yes, my dear, we have to look all these things. If manuscript is accepted and published, this player is a very popular in entire Arab world. Once we are successful to hit the ball into the court, means your manuscript is accepted, then keep your player, means all your players in a very nice way. Why? You always manage a folder. How you wrote, for example, your article published in British Medical Journal or New England Journal of Medicine. Try to keep this folder in your cabinet. How you wrote the manuscript, introduction, methods, result, discussion, covering letter, how you reply to the reviewer's comments. Once you are here, if you are convinced about the quality of the work, the next step to put all the key players like Imran, how you wrote the abstract, introduction, methods, result, discussion, and references. Must understand, second time you are submitting any manuscript in that journal, follow this file, please. Conclusion. The scientific manuscript writing must have a clear purpose and strongly focused outcome and objectives. The writing environment should be supportive, motivating, non-threatening. Scientists, while writing the manuscript, should select an appropriate journal. consider the core message of the manuscript, must look into the novelty and the prestige of the journal. Types of the readers, institutions should provide standardized training services for improving the scientific skills. If we are a good researchers, good scientists, means medical scientists with publications, everyone would like you. They will come under this tree and they will sit, enjoy the shade and the fruit of this tree. If the scientists without publications like this tree, nobody will come or sit under this tree. Thank you very much, please.
Thank you very much, Professor Sultan, for the nice presentation. There is any questions? Then we can we can have a 5 minutes break and then we'll start with the Dr. Ada. Or should we just start? Khalas, 5 minutes break.
I'm there also if you have any discussion, please, at the tea, or I'm here, please, okay? I'm here.
Let's have a 5 minutes break. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The slides, we are trying to give it to you at the end of the symposium. I don't know if you want it electronically. If you can leave your email, I can make one from my
email,
office.
much better. Yes,
Yes.
please. Okay.
Just if you can, Dr. Rufaida, just pass a paper. And if you put your email, I'll try to send all the lectures for today's symposium to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.